Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to budget and cash the $530 into our cash envelopes. But before we do, I wanted to take a moment to share with you guys my debt confession, as well as some lessons I learned in 2024 and the changes I made going into 2025. Now, if you're here only for the cash stuffing videos, there will be timestamps in the description below. So go ahead and click there and it'll take you right to that section. But hopefully you stick around so you know what's going on in my debt-free journey. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So my debt confession, guys, I am $22,000 in debt. And the reason it went up is because I recently did a balance transfer. And guys, that 15.6% that I was paying at my other bank, it wasn't going to cut it. I was getting pissed off. I was paying $500 and only $180 to $190 was actually going toward the actual principal. Nah, couldn't do it. So I found a bank that offered a 0 APR until April 2026. And I thought about it for about a week and I went ahead and pulled the trigger, decided to go ahead and do the transfer. And there was a 5% transfer fee, which cost me $1,000. And the way I thought about it was going to take me at least 5 months to build my $10,000 nest egg. And during that time, if I stayed at the other institution, during that time, it would have cost me well over $1,000 and there wouldn't have been any significant change in that principal balance. So for me, it made sense. Now, I'm not giving anybody any financial advice. After I've assessed my lifestyle, the changes I made, for me, I felt like this was doable. I don't plan to go into any more debt. And once I make those payments, I'm going to actually see that number actually drop. Guys, looking at that balance, paying all that money and not seeing that balance change set me off, man. So just to be clear, I transferred $21,000 to a bank that offered a 0 APR until 2026. I'm going to pay a 5% transfer fee, which is going to be on top of the minimum payment. I think it's going to cost me about $1,500 to $1,600. Which isn't a problem because I'm going to actually see that principal drop. And it's not going to increase month after month after month. That's a great feeling. So I want to actually see some significant changes in that principal balance. That's going to keep me motivated. Now, I'm not giving anybody any advice. That's just something I chose to do. The second change I made was I opened a high yield savings account with Ally Bank, which is an online bank that offers a 3.8 APY. Which means my money will grow as I save it, right? I like that idea. The other reason why I chose Ally or a different bank was I wanted to have my money in a totally different account that I didn't have a debit card to. I realized I'm the type of person, if I have access to the savings, like quick access with a debit card, I will find a way to justify touching that money. Especially for a gadget or an opportunity, because I'm so ambitious for an opportunity to make some additional money, I will be tempted to do so. So the method to my madness is if I were to try to tamper with the savings, I would have to go through 3 or 4 different additional steps and probably wait for the money. So hopefully by then I could talk myself off that ledge, right? But who knows? This is just an attempt. I just understand my behavior. So that was one of the biggest things I learned during 2024, just really breaking down and understanding my behavior with money. Step number 3, piggybacks off of step number 2, which is the savings. Like I said before, I don't want to see the money in my account because if I see the money in my account, I'm going to find an excuse to tamper with the money. So what I did was I just had it direct deposited into my high yield savings account. I have $700 each paycheck direct deposited into my high yield savings account. And I get paid bi-weekly. So we're looking at $1,400 a month. And I'm being conservative with that number because this is all new for me. But once we kind of get everything dialed down and figured out, I hope to increase that amount, maybe $300, $400, hopefully. But yeah, man, I do not want to see the money. The best way for me to save is out of sight, out of mind. Now I want to share with you the biggest lesson I learned in 2024. If you're not budgeting your sinking funds, you're going to have emergencies and you're going to have inconveniences. If you're not budgeting sinking funds, You're going to have emergencies and you're going to have inconveniences. Guys, last year I was hit with inconvenience after inconvenience after inconvenience, plus you throw a couple emergencies in there. And in retrospect, some of the emergencies outside of my car accident, some of the emergencies were actually me not being prepared, not really thinking about what I needed to have. Meaning when my house flooded, I had about a $3,800 deductible that covered the repair work at my home. It was an emergency, but I had insurance. When you have insurance, I don't consider it really an emergency. You just need to be prepared for the deductible, right? So I should have had a sinking fund, which is now my emergency savings. But I should have had a sinking fund last year that covered my home insurance deductible. Same thing with those inconveniences. I wasn't mindful of when my bills were due. Those annual and semi-annual bills were due. So when they would pop up, they would happen at the worst time and cause me to overdraft. So to remedy that, I have a sinking fund folder that I use, right? And I'll go over that when I do my cash stuffing, but I have a sinking funds folder that's going to cover those. It's going to cover those deductibles, car insurance deductibles. What I got here? Let me see. Car maintenance, pest control, health expenses, annual bills, home repairs, and then clothing replacement, underwear, t-shirts, socks, if you need to go buy some new threads here and there, got a budget for that. That way it don't really offset your budget. That's the biggest lesson I learned, was a lot of times some of those emergencies aren't really emergencies. An emergency is probably something that's catastrophic. You need to make an emergency flight somewhere, or something happens to your home and then you gotta, get a hotel room and live somewhere. You guys get it. So moving forward, if I have any type of insurance, I'm saving for those deductibles, and I should be fine, right? I should be fine. So that's the biggest lesson I learned. A lot of times we're not having emergencies. We're just not budgeting correctly. So keep that in mind. If you are budgeting, but you haven't thought about your annual, semi-annual, or your deductibles in your budget, you might want to consider that. So I hope this was helpful. And let's go ahead and get into this cash stuffing. All right, guys. So now let's get to the budget. Let's go ahead and start. Let's move this out the way so we can clear our area so we can count this money up. So let's go ahead and start counting. I'm going to do this really quick because I got to go get some food. I'm starving. So we got 50, 150, 150. 150 plus 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 300. That's 450. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. That's $50. We're going to add that. That brings it to 500. 5, 10, 15, 20. Going to bring that up to plus 20. That's 520 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $10. 530. Get that in frame. All right, cool. 530. All right, cool. Now we got 530. Let's move the calculator out the way. Now I want to kind of go over the numbers with you, what I'm budgeting. Some of these are sinking. I wrote sinking, and some I noticed I left sinking off of a couple, but this is what I'm budgeting moving forward, unless something changes. But ignore this number on the side. These are just some math I did. How much this would cost me a year. Just multiply these numbers times 26. But anyway, just ignore those numbers. But I'm not sure if you can see these numbers here. I wrote them in pencil because I was making adjustments. But if you can, good. Anyway, so for food, I'm budgeting $120. I'll go ahead and write it in. So for food, I'm budgeting $120. For gas, I'm budgeting 120. Haircut, $50. Car maintenance, which is a sinking fund, that's $50. Self-care, $10. Pest control, $25, which is a sinking. Sink. Lawn care, $10. We're gonna write sink. Even we got laptop, that's $25. Got an unplanned, that's a sinking, $10 here. Health expense, got $10. Annual bills, $40. Home repair, $50. And basic clothing, $10. All right. So we got our numbers here. This is what we're going to be budgeting. And I wrote the total here, which is 530. Hopefully I got the denominations broken down accurately. I just went to the bank and asked him to distribute them randomly. So they may be off, but we'll see. So let's move this to the side, and we're going to start with our brown folder here. And we're going to start with food. I'm not even a lefty. I'm going to try this with my left hand. So we're going to start with food. From food, we're going to budget $120. We're going to go 50, 70, 90, 110, 120. All right, 10, 30, 50, 70, 120. Go ahead and put that in here. Next, we're going to budget gas, 120, 50, same thing, 70, 90, 110, 120, 10, 30, 50, 70, 120. Next, we got our haircut. That's $50. I'm just going to use the 50. Why not? We're going to skip car. We're going to go to self-care. $10. So you know what? I'm just going to do tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $10. I said tens. I meant ones. I use ones. Anyway. All right. Lawn service. We're going to add $10. $10 here. Laptop is $25. 25 like that. 25. Guys, I really made my budget pretty simple. And the reason why is because I really want to get out of debt. And if I can make my process as simple as possible and error-free, the sooner I can get out of debt. You know, so you're probably not going to be too entertained with my cash stuffings. It's because I built a system. You know, I'm about getting things accomplished, getting results. Anyway, so unplanned, $10. Hopefully, you know, nothing pops up. But if anything exciting happens, you know, an inconvenience or a random bill pops up or something like that, I'll definitely keep you guys, you know, in the loop. So we got this folder complete. That's all cash stuffed. Now let's go over to basically our sinking fund folder or envelope. So here we're going to budget $50 for the car, for car maintenance. So we got 20, 40, 50. that. We got pest control, $25. So 25. Hopefully we got enough denominations. Next, we got health expenses. We got $10. Next, we got annual bills, $40. 20, 40. Annual bills. Next, we got home repairs. And you know what? Looking at the numbers, we got 20, 40. Okay. So we're going to have to break that down. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add 40 here. All right. Add 40 here for home repairs. And $10 goes into the basic clothing. So what I'm going to do is take this and break this down. And then I'll add the 10 to the home repairs. And we should be good there. And we're all set. That's $530 budgeted. All right, guys. So that's the cash stuffing for the first paycheck of January. I hope you gained some value from this, some inspiration. I would also like to know how your cash stuffings are going, or how your debt-free journey is going, or what are your financial goals? Share in the comments. Let me know where you're at in your journey and what you plan to accomplish. So leave that in the comment section, guys. And before you leave, please do not forget to click the like button, hit that subscribe button, and also share the content if you know someone who could benefit from the content. I really appreciate it. Until the next video, peace.